Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into Daniel chapter 10. It's quite a passage because this really unique look behind the scenes, you could say.
Yeah, it really does. It starts off setting a very specific scene. Daniel, it's the third year of Cyrus, the Persian king,
Right.
and he's been mourning, fasting too, for 3 solid weeks.
3 weeks. That's intense. What kind of fasting?
Super strict. The text says no choice food, no meat, no wine. He didn't even use lotions, just complete dedication and mourning.
Okay, so he's really putting himself into this.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well, after those 21 days are up, on the 24th day, he's by the river, the Tigris River, and that's when he has this vision.
Ah, the vision. What does he see?
It's described in incredible detail. There's this being dressed in linen, a belt of fine gold. His body is like chrysolite that's a sort of gleaming gem.
Wow.
Face like lightning, eyes like, well, flaming torches. His arms and legs shone like burnished bronze. And his voice, it sounded like a huge crowd, a multitude.
Just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And did others see this?
That's one of the fascinating parts. No. The men who were with Daniel, they didn't see the being itself, but they felt something. A great terror hit them, and they just fled, ran off and hid.
So Daniel's left totally alone to face this. How does he react?
It hits him hard. He says he was left helpless, all his strength gone, his face turned deathly pale. He basically collapsed.
Physically overwhelmed?
Completely. And when he heard the being's voice that sounded like a multitude, he fell into a deep sleep, face down on the ground, just out cold.
Yikes. But he doesn't stay that way.
No. Then a hand touches him. It gets him trembling onto his hands and knees. And the being speaks.
What does it say?
Calls him Daniel, you who are highly esteemed. Tells him to stand up because this being was specifically sent to him. And reassures him, don't be afraid.
Highly esteemed. So his character, his devotion is recognized.
Exactly. And here's a key piece. The being tells him his words, Daniel's prayer for understanding, were heard from the very first day he started fasting and humbling himself.
Okay, wait. If his prayer was heard on day 1, why did it take 3 weeks for this encounter? Why the delay?
Ah, that's the reveal, isn't it? This is where we get that glimpse behind the curtain. The messenger explains the prince of the Persian kingdom resisted him for 21 days.
The Prince of Persia. Like a spiritual entity.
That's how it reads, a resisting force associated with Persia. And the messenger says he was basically stuck, detained there, until Michael came to help.
Michael.
The archangel.
He's described as one of the chief princes. Michael had to step in so the messenger could finally get to Daniel.
Incredible. So this delay wasn't divine indifference, it was conflict, spiritual conflict.
Precisely. And the purpose of the visit, now that he's finally arrived, to make Daniel understand what's going to happen to his people, the Israelites, in the future. The vision is about days yet to come.
That's a heavy message. How does Daniel handle that?
Even just hearing this, Daniel is overcome again. He says he was speechless, face turned to the ground, filled with anguish from the vision, still helpless.
So he needs more help just to process it. Yes. Then someone looking like a man touches his lips. That allows him to speak again, to express his weakness.
And
then this figure touches him again, this time specifically giving him strength. The words are, peace, be strong now, be strong. And Daniel says he was strengthened and could finally talk properly with the messenger.
wow, a double dose of supernatural aid.
It seems so. And now, strengthened, Daniel hears more about these conflicts. The messenger says he has to go back to fight that Prince of Persia.
The fight's not over.
Apparently not. He has to return to that struggle. And then, he reveals, after he's dealt with Persia, the Prince of Greece will come. Another entity, another conflict.
So it maps onto historical empires, Persia, then Greece, but with these unseen princes involved. Where does this information come from?
The messenger refers to it as what is written in the Book of Truth, suggests a sort of divine record or plan.
Okay, and is the messenger alone in these fights?
This is a crucial detail right at the end. The messenger says no one stands with him against these princes, except Michael.
Michael again.
Yes. And significantly, Michael is called your prince, Daniel's prince, specifically linked to Daniel and his people.
So wrapping this up, Daniel's intense personal discipline, his fasting and prayer, it seems to open the door to this extraordinary vision.
Yeah, it peels back the layers. We see not just future historical shifts, Persia, Greece, but this unseen dimension of conflict, these princes associated with earthly kingdoms, and figures like Michael actively involved.
It really emphasizes that Daniel's effort, his seeking understanding, was heard instantly. even if the answer faced resistance. It presents this idea of unseen forces potentially influencing history, maybe our lives too.
It's a powerful depiction.
Definitely leaves you thinking, what does this passage really suggest about how resistance works, spiritually speaking? And this idea that unseen princes are tied to earthly powers, with figures like Michael engaged in these cosmic battles, it's quite something to ponder.